Good afternoon, everyone. You, of course, watching the LOL Collegiate League 2017 Spring Term, powered by Lenovo. Challenge what you know. And of course, we are your shoutcasters for today. I am Atlas, and with me is Vulcan. And of course, we're in the third week, getting into the Metro West Conference here. So let's have a review of the format we have for the Spring Term.
So what you said that we're on a third week.
Yeah.
Metro East, it's a new start for them. I
Yep.
mean, we don't have any. They're gonna face each other in a brand new setting, new teams, new members. But before that, we have to review. Let's see, what are these teams fighting for? What's the format of our spring? Here it is, guys. But before that, here's the schedule to see what's the upcoming, lineup of our matches.
So we're going to see all these teams from the University Belt. And the first match is going to be Adamson University Penguin Authority versus University of Caloocan City Ninja Turtles. And that's going to be our first match for today. Followed is another match from Adamson University, and it will be against TUP Sick Parvis Magna. Followed by that, onwards is going to be Far Eastern University Institute of Technology, the Tamarars versus the Technological University of the Philippines, Manila, Sick Parvis Magna again, and then it's going to be another UCC match against University of the East, and the Eastern Warriors, and our last two matches will be, of course, UST Teletigers versus Tamarars, and then UE Eastern Warriors versus UST again.
It's actually an exciting last match because we always seen USD actually consistent. Same as UE, they have strong mid laners and a strong team. But with the recent changes, let's see how they fare in the new setting of the spring term. Whereas third of the Metro East.
And yeah, definitely Metro West is one of those very competitive, conference here in the LCL. So let's look at the format of the spring term. So there's going to be 48 conference series, and all of these have 48 teams across all 6 conferences with 8 teams each. And of course, when we get to the inter-conference groups, we'll be getting 2 or 3, depending on the conference team from each. And it's going to be 16 teams fighting it out in inter-conference. And of course, that'll be narrowed down to 4 teams for the quarters and the semis for the playoffs. And the 2 strongest teams across all conferences will be facing it out in the finals to become the LCL champions for the spring term.
I mean, look at that, Atlas. From 48 teams to 16 teams to 4 and then 2 to the finals.
Yeah, and the qualifiers were over 150 teams. So it was a very bloody, very competitive match. LCL is always a spectacle when it comes to these things. Very competitive, lots of raw talent just waiting to be unleashed over all the competitive scene.
Yeah, we have Metro West, Metro East, South, North, besides Mindanao. From these, conferences, we're gonna pick the top teams.
Yeah.
And from that, we're gonna get 16 inter-conference groups. Then with those 16 inter-conference groups, we're gonna narrow it down to 4 teams. That is the playoffs, and after the playoffs is the finals. I mean, it's going to be really, stressful for the new teams or the old teams. They're actually used to this format.
They are.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting, let's say, cutthroat.
Yeah, it's a cutthroat. It's a very hard test of talent for everyone involved. So,
and onto our first game, it's going to be Adu versus UCC. It's going to be interesting. But before that, we are still in our, search and win trivia. So here
are the mechanics for the search and win promo. You are going to have to watch the LCL stream and watch out for the trivia. That chest icon is going to pop up, and with that is going to be the link, and you have to go to the link and answer the form completely from the name to the school to answering the trivia question. And if you are the first, you will have a mystery gift, which will, of course, be inserted into your account if you get it within 5 working days, I believe. So you have to always keep tuned, keep watching LCL. You can get that free mystery gift. Plus, you get to see high levels of play of League of Legends. The collegiate level is actually really interesting. Lots of, as I said, raw talent. So let's actually get into our game 1. This is going to be the Adamson University Penguin Authority versus University of Caloocan City Ninja Turtles, and let's get into the draft phase.
So on to the drafting phase. I mean, Adamson University against the UCC, University of Caloocan City. What can you say about these 2 teams, Atlas?
It's very interesting actually, because Adamson had to make a lot of roster changes over the preseason. Lots of changes. Of course, that's going to change the team dynamic from last year. And what's interesting here was UCC won against Adamson. And Adamson, that was their only loss. So going into this first day of their matches here in the LCL is going to be a revenge match. I'm guessing that over the course of the break, it was just Adamson honing their skills, maintaining their form while looking for new ways to defeat Ninja Turtles. Because in the qualifiers, if they faced off and Adamson only lost against UCC, then definitely there was something in Adamson's play that UCC was able to counter. So of course they're going to look for ways to work around that.
And with that said, I mean, we're also running the patch 7.4. It's
Lots
not,
of changes.
it's not about, you know, honing your mechanical skills. It's about adapting to the recent patches.
Yes.
A huge nerf to overall all champions in the right now in the scene right now. We have the Maokai being nerfed because of the mastery.
Too much damage coming from tanks. So basically this patch, as Vulcan said in our discussions earlier, it's more about delineating tanks and bruisers. You can't be both. So there's going to be a lot of decision making for the compositions here for all of the teams here for this week 3 of the LCL. It's going to be them. How are they going to adapt to the changes to the mastery, the offensive masteries, to the lethality items? It's really interesting to see because that's how fast-paced the Philippine meta is. Even in the PGS, if a patch changes, we get it. We don't have a tournament round, so it's going to be all about adaptation for these teams.
So now, with that being said, let's see how these two teams are picking up. We have a Tom Kench, a Rengar, and a Rumble on Adamson University's blue side against UCC, a Varus and a Graves and a Lulu. I mean, that's going to be obviously a Graves jungle, but with the recent, you know, nerfs to the masteries, we also have the nerfs to the battle trance,
Yeah.
double-edged sword, bounty hunter.
All those
from
additional damage masteries are now from 5% going down to 3%
3%
max.
3% max, but right now it's going to be 3.5%. So we can't expect that the Graves is going to snowball the same way he did with the 5% increase.
Yeah, because
so
that is way too strong.
That is way too strong. And with the Poppy, also we see a lock-in on Poppy.
Ooh.
It's really about, you know, what tanks they're supposed to be, not bruisers, not. They can be bruisers.
They're just supposed to soak up the damage,
Yeah, soak up damage.
disrupt the enemy, and not, you know, one-shot the AD carry. What that bruisers used to always do, like Maokai jumping on your AD carry. But so now they've really changed up. So here we're going to see that Adamson wants a lot more damage and a team fighting with their top lane, which is going to be Dazai on that Rumble. And for the top lane, of course, from UCC, right on time, is going to be Michelangelo on that Jace. And yeah, the ranged Jace against the Rumble, I think, is going to be a tough matchup for the Rumble in the first few stages of the game.
I think that Jace is going to mid lane, to be honest.
is it?
And the top lane is
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
the
be
Poppy,
Poppy in the
sorry.
top lane against the Tom Kench. Tom Kench is actually that annoying champion where if he gets 3 stacks, he can either stun you or swallow you up and deal percentage magic damage towards you. So Tom Kench is actually a nice pickup for if you want to really make someone
It's going
who
for the
is
bot lane here. Cadenza on the Tom Kench with that Jin, keeping that really high damage long range sniper very safe. On the side of Leonardo and Donatello, whoever is going to be, of course, long range poke, still sniping with that Varus. Of course, the lethality items kind of make him a little weaker, but still, lethality is still king in terms of raw damage output, and that's going to help. And Lulu is going to help that survive a lot more in the laning phase. Has a lot of poke as well in laning, so it's going to be a pain here for Adamson if they don't play around that. For the top lane, it's going to be actually the Poppy versus the another Yordle Rumble.
The matchup in the mid lane, though, it's going to be Zed against the Jace.
Zed against Jace.
Their summoner's actually an exhaust, so
Yeah,
we can
exhaust.
expect a duel, an early duel.
Lots of dueling. They're taking this exhaust to mitigate the burst coming from their lane opponent here. Very nice pickup compared to the usual Flash Ghost Roams or Ignite. Not that popular anymore in Season 7. They're opting for because it doesn't scale as well as exhaust. So, but it's also very useful against the burst, as you said. And for the first few levels, it might actually be Splinter on a short lead against Jizzle here.
I'm not how Splinter's gonna deal with GC with that Zed, because in terms of burst, I think Jace has more damage.
Yeah, Jace has a lot more damage, consistent as well. After his initial burst, he can keep brawling it out with a Mercury Hammer. Lots of abilities in his kit that will help him to that endeavor. But when it comes to the roaming, when it comes to the assassination, just diving in, GC might actually be able, if he plays the lane right, was able to consistently roam, he will be able to
So to our
Outdamaged
viewers out
if there's
there, who are you rooting for? Is it, the Adamson University, or is it going to be UCC, University of Caloocan City, is going to win this? It's going to be an interesting match because we've seen a return of, let's say the supports which are proper this time, not anymore that Zyro and Malzahar. It's going to be Tom Kench supporting that Jin. In case if Jin is in a sticky situation, there's that Tom Kench.
But just has to swallow him up and take him to safety.
Yeah, but it also works double way. I mean, if Jin is their main damage dealer, if Jin is absent like for 3 seconds, that's a lot of window of damage gone from that team.
Yeah, that's going to be what UCC will want to do, is that they force the Tom Kench to swallow anyone, and in that short time that their carrier damage dealer is not able to act, that's their time to just go straight for their other champions here. Can go on GC, can go on Dazai. Without that Jin there to do consistent damage, it's going to be really painful if that weakness is exploited in that short amount of time. It seems like their composition here, with the Graves, with the Jace, they can easily take that opportunity if they need to.
Yeah, but in terms of ganking, do you think Graves is going to have an easier time ganking?
Definitely not.
Because of the Tom Kench, right?
Yeah, against the jungler here, the Rengar. The Rengar has a lot more options for ganking. He has the Bola Strike. He has so much damage coming from his kit survivability as well. Has the leap to go from brush to champion. So he's going to have a lot more pressure in the game. But if the Graves is able to just counter gank and catch him out, I believe that his grit, his kit, his ability to kite around, I think that'll actually help him out. But he needs to time his rotations well, because even with the raw damage output from Graves, you can't really gank. It's like Shyvana, where you don't have CC, you only have the slow from your smoke screen. So if you don't get the right counter gank, you're not gonna get those kills. So it's better for him to either out-rotate the jungler here from ADU, or just go power farm, wait until you get the collateral damage, and then just go for the straight out burst.
And to our viewers out there, we are streaming on YouTube, gaming.youtube.com/phgarena/live. We are also on Twitch, twitch.tv/Garena, PH Esports, and we are also on our Facebook Live.
Yeah, just check out the LCL official page here, and I believe that is facebook.com/LCLPH.
And we're also running the Search and Win trivia, so guys, stay tuned for that Search and
keep
Win
your
trivia.
eyes peeled for that search and win. Get your fingers ready to type that out. This is going to be, and you also have to pay attention to the match, because the trivia there will be related to the match and the teams playing in the current game. So always keep your eyes peeled and keep those fingers on that keyboard. Of course, you're still watching LCL 2017 Spring Term. So far, though, coming into this game, I mentioned that Metro West is a very, very exciting conference to play because of how competitive it is. I believe it had the most participants in the qualifiers. 50. That's like over a third of the total qualifier registrants for LCL, and it was very bloody. And it was also the one that finished the latest, because there were lots of teams that needed to do tiebreakers, very, very close matches as well, so you could have 3 or 4-way ties, and that's gonna be really, and that's intense. It's just so competitive, and it's gonna be exciting because these are the 8 teams that survived all of those bloody matches.
With that being said, I mean, Atlas, what can you say about the Adamson Universities versus the UCC? What kind of story they have? I mean, we all know that they have lost, previously just once. This is the revenge match for them. How are they going to play out in your opinion? I mean, they have the Rengar, will be aggressive, but with the recent changes to the Keystone Masteries, plus the Tier 2 Masteries, the Bounty Hunter, and the Battle Trance, that's a huge nerf on Graves, where Graves really relies on early burst damage.
Yeah, and I think that the Rengar will have an easier time here because his main masteries, I don't think were affected that much compared to the red masteries. The blue masteries in the middle are actually his go-to, and those weren't changed much compared to, say, Fervor.
Right.
And
mostly
others.
to the tanks, the tank meta is
it's supposed to delineate the tanks here, and a little bit of lethality also changes, but both of these tanks build lethality. But I think Rengar is less affected by the changes overall of the patch.
Who's your favorite, champion in this matchup right now?
right now, I am looking at how both of these junglers are going to change the match. Because I always say that junglers are one of the most important players in the game in this current meta, because they control the flow of the game. They dictate the objectives that are taken. They dictate which lanes get the pressure. So I'm really looking at either the Rengar here, or the Graves. So those are two players to look at here.
I mean, the Rengar and the Graves is something you have to look out for, but I have to also more lean on in the top lane.
Ooh.
The top lane is really going to be
interesting as well, because
yeah, I mean,
they are the ones that are most affected by the tank bruiser delineation for this patch.
Except for that Rumble.
Yeah, and the Rumble doesn't get affected by those AD scaling mastery changes, so it's going to be interesting as well. And once he reaches level 6, those teleport plays with the Equalizer are definitely going to be explosive.
Have you been watching the PGS lately, Atlas? You've seen the Equalizer, right?
Yeah,
how much damage,
so much impact.
And also the objective lockdown of it compared to Poppy. The Keeper's Verdict is very hard to land.
Yeah, very hard to land. And it might go wrong in a bunch of ways if you've seen a few of IPT's matches. Still very good at what Poppy is supposed to do, which is to be a bodyguard, which is to be a tank. Rumble, on the other hand, wants to keep fighting, wants to get in there, get that damage with a flame spitter, and then control and lock down those objectives.
So it's about Rumble being that offensive, damage-dealing champion, whereas Poppy is more of a champion
more of a bodyguard.
Defensive, provides kiting for the ADC. But in terms of matchup, I'm leaning more towards Adamson University.
The same, actually. I'm really interested to see how the Zed and how the Rengar synergize. Mid lane, jungle mid synergy is always very important in these competitive games, but also on how that Rumble will be used to control those objectives. Because, the Equalizer is very, very strong, and I'm always interested to see how this champion will perform in the games.
And guys, reminding you again, we are still running our Search and Win trivia. So please stay tuned when you're watching the game. There's going to be a link that's going to appear in the stream. Type in that link quickly. It's going to be a trivia about the game that you just watched. Answer quickly, and you'll be winning the mystery gift, which will be inserted in 5 working days. So just because you got the correct answer, we'll announce it. You won't get the gift immediately. There is still that processing time.
Of course, we are loaded onto the Rift here for Game 1 of Week 3 of the LoL Collegiate League 2017 Spring Term, powered by Lenovo. It's going to be Adamson University Penguin Authority versus University of Caloocan City Ninja Turtles. You can actually see the names of their players: the Donatello, Michelangelo, Splinter, Raphael.
A nice reference to the team. It just goes to show
right
that team name is complementing their summoner's name. But without further ado, let's get straight to the first game of the 3rd week of the Lenovo LCL 2017 Spring Term Challenge. What you know.
It looks like Adams University is trying to catch out someone here around the bot side. Seems like they are starting in the blue side here. It looks like they will be laying down some of that vision here to wash out for UCC's moves.
Minions have spawned.
So he's just going to stay there and ward on that blue side jungle here. On the other hand, Adamson just focuses on trying to protect their red buff here in the bot side tower.
I mean, interestingly, do you expect that Graves is going to play it the same way? The lethality and the Yomu's Ghost plays, all of them went down by at least 5 with the 60% lethality right now. I'm not sure how that Graves is going to fare in terms of early damage compared to where he was really strong in patch 7.3.
It just built full lethality in one shot. And I think that the changes to Yomu's is usually the first item go-to for AD carries and these assassins. I think the 5 lethality, while small, is super impactful in the early game, and it will actually provide more decision-making for these champions on what first item they're going to get. It might not be immediately the Yomu's now. It might actually be a different AD item, might even go for a different lethality item.
Yeah, because the Yomu's Ghost Plate provides the most lethality, which is 20. Now it's been reduced to, let's say, 15 lethality compared to, patch 7.3. So you're going to expect the jungler, maybe it's going to, let's say, maybe I don't need the lethality right now. Maybe I don't need Yomu's right now. I should build maybe Warriors and Chat Lane. That provides more AD.
And some CDR as well.
Cooldown reduction is important.
So yeah, that might actually be the decision here, but we're going to see how they've adapted to the changes here, because these are changes that, while they seem small in numbers, they're super impactful to how the details of the game play out. But until they do get the gold for those items, we're going to see how they're going to build those items out. And so far, though, seems like Orf here is going to try and go for a little bit of counter. Counter jungling here does not find anything except the Krugs. So, yeah, this actually
It's actually a really slow-paced start.
slow
seeing
play
that
start.
This is their revenge match,
Mhm.
so you can expect that these two teams, they're not gonna really give away too much information. Don't risk too much, and not to mention with the recent nerfs, I don't think they had enough time to play or practice.
Yeah.
Or really adapted to the changes. So what they expect their champions to do at their full potential might not be the same.
So they're going to have to play it out real slow, see what their champions can do here, because of course revenge is a dish best served cold. So definitely going to wait it out here before going all in, even with their assassins, with their two assassins here on the side of Adamson, with Jissy here and Orf. Gonna see how it all plays out, because I think the most explosive lanes here are gonna be either top lane or our mid lane.
I mean, we can also see that Raphael is trying to rotate to the bot lane. There is a
Ooh.
ward. Tom can spot that plus the Jin. It's not going to be a really, successful gank, seeing that is a Tom Kench.
Yeah, and actually that allows Dazai here to just go in straight for the trades here fearlessly, knowing that Raphael is all the way down there in the bot lane.
And also the Doran's
not
shield pickup is going to be difficult for, Michelangelo to even do anything. But let's see. Raphael making his way for his second gank to the mid lane. DC spots him. He might go away, but instead burns his flash.
That burns the flash, so does not actually use the shadow swap there. So that's the flash down for the mid lane here. Might actually go for a repeat gap, but of course it's still very hard to gank as a Graves. Actually, still very hard to gank as a Graves here if you don't have the right opportunity. But yeah, bot lane is going to be a lot safe for Simone here.
I'm not pretty sure how, Raphael is really having its hard time finding his time to gank. I mean, it's really difficult, but Danzai,
Here it comes though.
overextending, he's will be getting away. He still has his flash. He might get away with his flash, though. He won't be burning his flash. He gets away safely.
Yeah, and in that kind of positioning, most other junglers, that would just be a sure kill. But Graves, even with a red buff, it's so hard to get even an overextended kill because of the way his kit works. Lots of damage and pressure, but Dazai with the junk shield and the speed boost coming from that just is able to escape very, very easily. Does not have to burn a lot except to recall and to teleport back.
I mean, we can clearly see what Raphael is trying to do. Provide pressure, make the opponent waste that summoner like flash or heal. But in the top lane, Danzai knew really well that his champion has the shield. But it's really difficult for him to gank. I mean, he's really struggling. He didn't burn the flash in the top lane. So what happens to him? He loses jungle time. Look at the CS of that rank card.
It's 40 to 15.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's actually a lot, and that's Orf just power farming for now. He knows that his champion might actually not be as strong from the previous patch. So right now he's just power farming because that's the stable and 100% sure option is to just farm up because jungle monsters give a considerable amount of gold. So just farm up here, reach level 6, and then you can gank for sure.
Danzai really showing the presence in the top lane, zoning out the top lane of Michelangelo. Look at that. 23 CS to 55. How much is he struggling? In the bot lane, clearly, you can see the skill of plays. But I'm really scared for Adamson University. They're not really monopolizing what they're good at right now. UCC really falls behind in damage in the early because of Raphael. I mean, having a hard time with the Graves, but I'm not sure how they're gonna come back from that. It's really a tight game, 0-0, but the CS is really showing off.
The CS on the bot lane here, actually, because it's a lot more safer to CS as Varus here with Leonardo. Has a piercing arrow here because it's actually quite dangerous to go too near to the Tom Kench here. Might actually be stunned and then swallowed. Very, very bad time there. I would not want to be in the belly of that beast.
I mean, that's the thing about, resourceless champions like Rumble against the Poppy, where Poppy is very mana hungry in the early phase. Picking up the corrupting potion is wise, but clearly Dazai with the Doran's shield amplifying the Ruby Crystal will be going for the Haunting Gaze for match penetration.
Yeah, just a lot of Magpan as well. Able to push through the Null Magic Mantle, which I believe will be a Spectre's Cowl. Will be built into a Spectre's Cowl here. And actually it's so hard it's so hard for Michelangelo here to go for the usual Poppy build. Going for that Balmy Cinder, he can't go for the Sunfire Cape. because what that means is just Dazai is just gonna kill him a lot easier.
Look at that. Raphael
without-
is actually
without
there near the
Magres.
Krugs. Might
Ooh.
cancel Orf. He's spotted by a ward. Backs away.
Actually, be a
This
ward
is where you have fight
here.
going
Oh.
on. Orf may have made the wrong choice. Equalizer on the floor to burn the enemy, but Orf will be going down. Giving the first blood to Michelangelo. Who's going to be next? It's going to be Dazai. Dangerously low.
Oh.
Failed flash. Giving the kill to Splinter.
And this actually opens the opportunity for the bot lane of Adamson to go for a kill while Donatello is away from Leonardo, but that's still first blood and another kill compared to only one in the bot lane. They might actually just transition this to a little bit of damage and pressure in the tower there, and now double buffs onto Michelangelo. That's going to make his job a lot easier than the top lane.
Oh, wow. The trade in the top lane was something
Yeah.
Adamson University Ado didn't want to give. Giving a kill, two kills to UCC, but they have traded in the bot lane, but that was miscommunication.
Still, and that was miscommunication as well, because you saw that the damage there from the equalizer in the initial burst. I think if Orf went in there onto Michelangelo immediately, and rather Raphael, it would have been a kill to at least trade out. But instead, he kept running back, was not able to leap back because he was out of the brush, and that means no kill for them, just straight up first blood, losing first blood and another life.
Not just that,
that's a lot of
Splinter
gold.
rotating to the top lane. Instead, you know, it's clearly to see that there is the Serenity out of movement speed combat. We've seen, you know, it's time that in this game right now, lethality items have to be picked up. There's going to be rotations. They have to adapt.
Yeah, for these assassins, yeah, I think it's still going to be the Yomu's pickup here. Or rather, at least another serrated Dirk item. But even with the kill here, you can see that Dazai has a lot of like 5 waves over Michelangelo in terms of CS. So I believe this just equalizes
That is huge.
their
though.
gold. But still, the double buff and that XP lead allows Michelangelo to just catch up a little bit and just equalize that the fighting there into trading there in the top lane.
I mean, that fight is what Michelangelo needed. Picking up the Bami Cinder, Spectre Scroll,
Ooh.
we can't expect Dazai will be the same playstyle as he did in the previous top lane. So let's see. Oh, Donatello.
Orf might actually want here because he does have the thrill of the hunt ready.
Tom catch,
Opens it
nice
up.
flag, 2v3. What's gonna happen? Teleport from the top lane. Leonardo is gonna do a summary, but that's not gonna happen. Leonardo goes down. Here comes another teleport from the top lane. Dazai is here. Equalizer on the floor. Oh, that's going to be pure black right there. That's going to be a lot of damage done by Michelangelo all alone, giving Orf that kill. It's going to be 3-0 trade.
Oh. Kills Orf there, and they might try to go for this Cloud Drake, but without their jungler, it might be very risky with Raphael trying to clear that bot lane, but it doesn't seem like they want to contest this. It's just a Cloud Drake. It's not super impactful, but it will be used for Adamson's composition. They have the Zed, they have the Rengar, so this little bit of move speed coming from the Cloud Drake might actually help them out-rotate and roam.
That was actually a really nice curtain call.
Yeah, that was a very nice curtain call to actually open the play there, coming from Adamson University, and the Abyssal, the journey, the
Abyssal Voyage is going to really help.
that are coming from the Tom Kench, able to get the Orf in position that he needs to be, and when the Rengar's already behind you, man.
The Keeper's Verdict was used to fling away the enemies, but I think what happened there when Sadenza actually swallowed Simon, he actually survived that team
Yeah,
flash.
let's look at it here. The slow coming from Simone, even with the nerfs to the slow duration, allows Orf, even with the Hugify here, gives them the damage that they need, and the equalizer there to just block off all escape routes. Even if the Keeper's Verdict gets away 2 of the team, 2 of the damage dealers, rather 2 members from Adu, the 2 damage dealers are still there, Simone and Cadenza, Simone and Dazai. So, of course, that's still going to be a dead Poppy, and actually a very nice play there, transitioning it to a Cloud Drake. And yeah, that was actually very good from Adu.
I'm not sure that Michelangelo knew what he was doing with the Poppy, but in my opinion, I think the Keeper's Verdict was mistimed. Here comes the
Another one.
Second one, curtain call opening again. Leonardo has been slowed. Third bullet, fourth bullet, all to him. However, the rapid growth will save his life.
Yep, the rapid growth there actually very useful against these assassins. The knock-up as well be very useful, but is there going to be any pressure here Oh, it might actually be a mid lane fight.
An equalizer. Oh, set it up again. Splinter is actually in a bad position. Exiles burn onto GC. He might go all in with the burst. He secures together. It's on a killing spree, but he might go down. Giving a shutdown go to Dazai.
That's actually very bad for UCC, that 1-for-1. But the shutdown there actually gives Adu a little bit of a catch up there from their previous killing spree of Splinter. And I think that was unnecessary from GC there to keep chasing. Because that was a full health Dazai with boots, with the junk shield, will be able to catch up very easily to Splinter. That death was not necessary there to keep chasing in there. It burnt a flash, but still very, very unnecessary to go for that. Dazai could have handled it after the initial burst coming from the death mark. But
I mean, Sedan and Simon really controlling the bot lane. Did you see the position of those traps?
Yeah.
In case of a gank happens, Raphael will have a hard time with that Graves. I mean, there's no sort of, really huge hard CC that Graves has, so we can see a gap. Oh, that's going to be a quick draw reverse. Orf has not seen that coming. Another Colado Drama to flank him away. Jesse goes down again. Splinter all onto Orf, same as Raphael. Orf flashes away, will be getting away though.
No, it doesn't seem like it because Donatello is
Here comes
there.
Donatello. He has to fully bury. Instead, use the ball of strike, but the shock blast will finish him off.
Yeah, Edge of Night actually the first pickup for Splinter instead of the Yomus. Still lethality, still allows him to get that hit off onto Orf, and I think that was a little bit of misprediction coming from Orf. Gonna go for the jump, but then the quick draw actually reverses their positions.
And the collateral damage also went him over the wall.
And so what happened there was Orf had to circle a very long way to help GC, and by that point he was already down, and then it just follows. That's two 1v2s in a row.
Orf is really falling up into the 50-minute mark.
Yeah, 1-3-1.
He has the Warrior Enchantment plus the Phage, but the Black Cleaver has been reworked. Is built now for tanky bruisers, let's say like Jarvan or Renekton.
It's not made to be an assassin item anymore because the
Not
AD got
anymore.
reduced, but the
80.
health value went up.
But the cooldown reduction is still valuable for a Rengar. But I'm not sure that's a really efficient way.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm definitely doubting the Phage. I don't think it's a optimal pickup. Even with the nerfs, I think you should just still go for lethality if Orf wants to assassinate. Because I think that's gonna be the key to their fights here. Is that GC and Orf go for two separate targets, or even one target if Donatello is way too much of a threat because of his wild growth. That's basically the game plan here, is to open up with Simone, slow down the targets, scare them away a little bit, pressure them, and then what happens here is Dazai is going to go for the equalizer to prevent their escape, while Orf and GC just shred them to bits. But with that Black Cleaver, that's going to be a little more sustained fights coming from Orf here rather than the assassinations we were expecting.
A denied gank for University spotted by that Scrying Plant. That's going to give information to Michelangelo to really hog that turret.
But yeah, it's still going to be lots of pressure on that turret from Dazai. With a wave clear coming from the Flame Spitter as well, the resourceless champion, as you said, very easily shoves the lane down, applying a lot of pressure, and the minion lead on the side of Dazai, while it's not as big as it was before, and it's still like 4 waves over Michelangelo.
Gotta agree with that, plus Dazai has the Leander's Torment, and with the next Ocean Drake live in 30 seconds left, UCC has to transition towards this. They cannot give a high priority Drake like an Ocean Drake to Adamson University.
Yeah, ideally it would be, say, Mountain or Infernal, because both of these teams are very explosive team fights. And that can transition to, say, very powerful objectives. But UCC, Ninja Turtles, really wants his Ocean Drake. It's going to help them with their mana regeneration, helps them sustain while poking away with the Shock Blast and the piercing arrows. It's going to help them a lot if they do get this. So it doesn't seem like Adu wants to give it up just yet.
We might see, Jissy picking up also a Black Cleaver, same as Orf. Instead, look at how Splinter is itemizing. Another Sorditor, a second lethality item, and with a KDA of 5-1, with that huge gold lead, picking up a Tear of the Goddess, that is going to, that shows how Splinter has that much money.
Yeah, that much money he just saved. He is ahead enough that the Tear of the Goddess won't delay his damage. Actually picking up Ninja Tabai both of these mid laners to mitigate a little bit of the damage that each other brings out, because both of them have a lot of burst, and mitigating that just a bit, they already have lots of damage.
And not just that, the Nightshade, active passive, the spell shield will
Mhm.
deny that death mark.
Yeah, so what's going to happen here is Splinter might have a little more, with reaction time, might actually have a bigger chance here.
Splinter-
Cadenza.
Splinter really trying to, gauge his damage
Mhm.
against the Tom Kench.
Who does have a cloth armor there, and still, trying to scout out that bot lane here. Lots of vision here, but no one's making a move, direct move against Drake here. Just building up that vision around the Ocean Drake, because they really, really want that. Especially UCC. It's going to help with what they want to do, which is to poke away, and just wear them down with those lethality enhanced shock blasts and piercing arrows. It seems like they do want to go for this top lane instead on the side of Adu, forcing Splinter and Raphael to respond.
Splinter's all alone. Here comes the Shrew of the Hunt. The Death Mark also teleported from the top lane. Splinter will not be going there. That's going to be a disengage for Adamson University with Michelangelo on the scene.
Not a lot of value gain from that teleport. It did scare away the gank, but of course the exhaust already scared him away. This actually gives the opportunity for Simone to get this bot lane the first third of the game. And of course the first third of the game is not as strong as it was before. It's not super must-have, but still that was practically free there.
That is control also for the Drake. Here comes the fight. Curling goes over the fight. Splinter is dangerously low. Michelangelo blocking the bullets, but Splinter is pinned down against the wall. He flashed away with the rabbit girl from the Lulu. Here comes the Equalizer on the floor. No one will be going down as of yet. They might re-engage, but UCC backing away, respecting Adamson University's damage.
Michelangelo did a pretty good job there of being a bodyguard for the team, and Donatello, of course, with the wild growth, just keeping them alive. But it seems like Adu will have the Ocean Drake advantage here if they were willing to get it. But it seems like UCC does not want to give them that Ocean Drake. It might transition to a pressure here. Do you want that dragon, or do you want to keep your mid lane turret? That's going to be the decision that they have to make, and they have to make it now. It seems like they do want to go for this turret. The fight might begin.
Michelangelo pinning away that Tom Kench might be a wrong choice. Chain of Corruption failed to land. Here comes the damage from Michelangelo in the middle of the fray, but he's dangerously low. Splinter goes all in for the burst, fails, takes a turret hit, and here comes Thrill of the Hunt. This might be a cleanup, guys. So Orb secures the kill. Michelangelo flashed away. Will it be a second kill? Flash bones by Simon will be securing his third kill. Sadenza with a Abyssal Voyage repositioning. Leonardo is a bit dangerously low. It might be a cleanup fight for Adamson University.
That was a very explosive, and actually this gives the Ocean Drake to Adamson University. That's going to be a 3.2k gold lead plus the dragons coming here. That's a lot of stats as well, and wow, that damage there. Both teams were really on the verge of just getting destroyed, but having all of your members there vulnerable to the Rengar just allows him to clean up. And even though it was one kill by the Rengar, that actually opens up their defenses for the rest of Adu to just dive in.
And not just that, the fact that Dazai was the equalizer.
Yeah, the equalizer there was super impactful. The end there.
And you gotta. Oh, here's the replay here. Let's see what happened
here. And that it just seems like they might be in a bad position here because the Chain of Corruption's hit. But look here, the damage coming from the rest of their kit will manifest here. Splinter tries to go for the dive, but a few turret shots there, plus the dancing grenades allows him to just pounce in there, get the damage that they need, and the flash will open up for 2 kills on the side of Adu. So it's definitely just a little bit too overcommitted from UCC on that fight, which opens them up for Adu's counter-strike.
So with Adu picking up 2 Drakes, Ocean, a very useful Drake, and the next Drake is Mountain. UCC has to step it up, secure vision on that Drake, and do not lose in trade fights.
So it seems like they will want to go for this top lane turret. That's the next objective in their eyes. Cadenza. Oh no!
That's going to be invasive privacy. Leonardo goes down without any trouble. Deleted from the map.
Yeah, it's going to be 0 and 3 with the assassination gear coming from Orf and GC. It seems like he did finish his... yeah, it's going to be the Black Cleaver here with a Kindle Gem pickup definitely a Black Cleaver, but doesn't seem like he's having any trouble with assassination. That little bit of health coming from the Kindle Gem will be a little more useful for keeping him alive against Splinter and Raphael's damage.
Pings all over the map, signaling Michelangelo to get away from that top lane, giving Adamson University the second turret of the game, while UCC securing no objectives or whatsoever with a 4K gold lead.
That mid lane first tier turret actually is just one hit away from being destroyed. So UCC might want to focus on that, but it seems like Adu with their rotations will make it very hard for them. GC there for the wave clear in his own lane, keep making it very hard for UCC to get to reap the gold from that mid lane turret.
And not to mention that Jin, Luma's Ghost Blade and an Infinity Edge.
Yep, that's a lot of damage.
That's gonna proc so well with the fourth bullet. That's what happened in the team fight. UCC lost in terms of pure damage. Leonardo has the piercing arrow, but that's not enough with the recent nerfs in the masteries and the lethality. It is showing how damage-wise a virus is falling off.
Yeah, because earlier we said that he's ahead enough. He's ahead enough in terms of CS and pressure that he can afford to build the tier of the goddess. And now actually has the lucidity boots for the CDR, but now instead Simone goes straight for the IE, no longer pure lethality, but still very painful crits, plus the serrated Dirk. That actually allows him to out-damage and out-value Leonardo in these fights, I believe, is the reason for actually going straight for another Zeal, an attack speed item, a stack speed and crit item. So he's going straight back to what Jin was before. Instead of going full lethality, he's now going for a little more traditional. Here, Splinter in trouble.
Splinter gets followed up by Sadenza, might sell up for Death Mark. No, that's not gonna happen. Splinter backs away under the turret. Through of the Hunt. Death Mark still pursues the Equalizer, and a current call to clean up the fight. UCC is in a big heap of trouble. Michelangelo a bit late. With two members of UCC left to defend this turret, Adamson University might answer to
they are
Baron.
going on to Baron here, and that will be very, very difficult for UCC to match. This is going to be a relatively quick Baron here at this level. Actually, no, it's not that quick because of the Jin having to reload. This might actually open up Leonardo and Michelangelo, but I don't think it will be enough. It's still going to be a very easy Baron.
This is a very
unless the
Baron.
keeper's verdict.
That is a very risky Baron. Adamson still sticking towards it, but an execute from the Baron. They have still secured the Baron buff.
I think that's worth it.
That's worth it. It's an execute.
Yeah, it's an execute. It's a free recall, quote unquote.
It's a free recall, 30-second recall.
Yeah, 30-second recall. It's a secret meta, secret technique. Looking at here, and that even the wild growth does not save Splinter because of the placement of the equalizer, because of the way they focus. It's pretty much a 5v3 here in the mid lane. Leonardo way too late to the party. The chain of corruption does not actually hit. It seems like GC wanted to go for another death mark onto Leonardo, but he backs away just in time. It's going to be really hard for the wave clear here, coming from Leonardo. Ooh,
Simone burning the flash.
Yeah.
I mean, like what you said, Atlas, that was a great use of synergy.
Just straight up focus fire onto the targets there. An equalizer.
Curtain call.
Yeah, the curtain call equalizer, all of that just combining for heaps of damage, continuous damage combined with burst damage, just spelled death.
Not to mention the death mark. That's an overkill for Splinter.
Yeah, even with a wild growth, that was just a sure death.
Sure death, guaranteed. 30 seconds left into the Maton Drake. What will UCC do?
Yeah, because this is definitely hard. Because the wave clear they have is AoE. Of course, wave clear AoE. And that actually gets mitigated by the Baron buff. So while Adu, Penguin Authority, is sieging this, they're going to have a very much harder time clearing the waves here. So it seems like they're just taking over the map here, transitioning immediately to the bot lane. That Baron buff is going to make short work of these turrets if they...
Equalizer onto the floor, severing the members of UCC, scrolling all over the map. Here comes the re-engage by Simon, gets the kill. Here comes the orb with the Thrill of the Hunt. Michelangelo is trying to zone out the enemies, trying his best. He has no ultimate. Keeper's Verdict is on cooldown. Sadenza with the Devour, saving Dazai from any more turret hits. This is going to be a re-engage fight for UCC, but fails. But Adamson University has pure raw damage from Simon's Infinity Edge.
Wow, Adamson University, Penguin Authority with a vengeance. goes for all of these aggressive team fights, taking out UCC, and this is definitely the dish that is served cold there. And it actually transitions it to a free Mountain Drake. That is so much gold value for Adu. That's going to be 9k gold lead plus 3 Drakes. That is huge. And UCC's composition, as you said, seems to be falling off even at 27 minutes. What they can do is it's so difficult because Michelangelo, even with the steadfast presence, is not able to protect Leonardo or Splinter. And Raphael, even with the has to build Black Cleaver, not full lethality to build straight into these items. Can't deal the same amount of damage that Orf, Jissy, or Simone can bring out. And even with the bodyguarding here coming from Michelangelo, it's just so hard. In that fight earlier, they were divided. And being divided against this composition that has Cloud Drake, that has 2 mobile assassins, it just means your death if you stay away from your team for even a second.
Daisy on the scene with the teleport, sieging this mid turret.
Opens it up.
Equalizer on the floor. Let's see what happens. Raphael blocking. Michelangelo blocking the 4th bullet. Chain of Corruption onto 3 members. Make that 4. Stunned by the Chain of Corruption. Daisy, however, still burning the enemies of UCC with that Flame Spitter. Won't be doing much. This will be a disengage for Adams University.
Quite successful defense there coming from UCC, because if you're able to stop the initial burst coming from Adu, you might be able to kite back with your Shock Blast and Acceleration Gate, with your Chain of Corruption, with your Piercing Arrow. You might be able to whittle them down and force them to disengage. That is a good defense that come from UCC, but of course with the lethality items giving CDR as well, it might be very quick.
So Denza really out position, but look at that, Raphael will be taken down with the Death Mark. JT gets an easy kill pickup. Michelangelo still half HP, but the focus is on the Splinter. Simon with the crit and the damage focuses onto Leonardo. He has to back away with 4 members of UCC down. This gives Adamson University complete control of the top lane turret.
Yeah, bloodthirsty Adu, even with Cadenza being caught out there, the damage coming from Adu just overpowers the incomplete team of UCC. We saw there in the successful defense in the mid lane that they were able to push away Adu because they were acting as a unit, acting as 5 members, but there they were again divided like in the bot. They were all not in the same place, not all on the same page, and that just allows them to open up, ironically, with a curtain call. They open it up with a curtain call. Look at here. Cadenza gets caught in, and then Raphael gets bursted down. You can see that Leonardo is nowhere to be found here. Has to go from the back line, but at that point, the rest of his team is just been already cleaned out. So yeah, very divided way of entering these fights, and that's, I believe, the greatest weakness of UCC in this game. Because if they,
I would also like to add what you said about that game, that Clash Atlas, is what happened that UCC focused too much onto Sadenza.
Yeah,
it's a
Tom Kench
It was a
as
bait.
well. It was
they just got baited out of that.
Yeah, it's very funny because they used fish as bait.
The fish is the bait.
Hook, and then UCC took it, hook, line, and sinker, opening up Jissy to just take out Raphael and the rest of their team to just burn them down.
UCC really has to, you know, think before they go all in on a Tam Kench. He has that thick skin, just, you know, making all your efforts to burst down the Tam Kench useless. So UCC, clearly they have been baited out of that, turning the fight around. Even if Sadenza was caught off guard, that fight was a clean fight actually for Adamson University. 0 members.
0 members. It seems like they won't be opting to take the Baron, which will be up in 30 seconds here. They're just going straight, pressuring every single point of the map here in the mid lane, bot lane, and top lane. And it's actually, let's watch for the search and win link here. Just follow that bit.ly link there, answer the questions, answer the form completely, and answer the trivia question. If you get it right and first, you will get that mystery gift within a few working days. Just be patient, but also be quick. And let's get back to the game here.
Patch 7.4 is really affecting the champions, where they excel in, you know, long team fights. Like the battle trance of the Poppy is no more. Black Cleaver's itemization is different now. Let's see what happens. Chain of Corruption is not going to do much for Leonardo. Flash, although been burnt by Simon, that might give UCC an advantage. Maybe not. Here comes Danzai with a Flame Splitter on the fray. Oh, that's going to be all in for Jissy with the Death Mark. Fails to assassinate Raphael, but the Curling Call might salvage the fight. Third bullet. Oh, that's going to be a block, but still Simon secures the kill. He's legendary with 8-0. Danzai really low on the health. Burns his flash over the wall. Here comes Simon, gonna duel it up with the long range ownage with Michelangelo trying to zone out the members. That's not gonna do much. Splinter gets a double kill, but with Simon, the main damage dealer for Adamson University, still alive in the fight.
And
This will be a cleanup, maybe a cleanup.
Yeah.
Splinter might go all in, guys. What's gonna happen? A crit bullet, crit bullet. No, that does not happen. Splinter gets the shutdown goal. Too much for Simon to handle.
And yeah, that was a very good fight from UCC. They learned that they should stick together in that fight. And under that tower, united, they were able to take out 4 members of ADO with only a cost of 2 for them. And look at a replay here. That's 5 members rather in the same page. So that GC is not able to immediately successfully assassinate them. The curtain call actually tries to salvage the fight here. But being under that turret and with all 5 members being in the same page, that allows them to get the momentum of the fight there. Taking out Orf can't go back in. Cadenza just has to run away. And of course, Simone very, very strong with lots of damage, but still gets taken out by Splinter there.
GC overcommitted to that fight. Under a turret is something you don't want to do, where the enemy has a Lulu equalizer on the floor trying to delay. The Drake will fail, giving UCC their first Ocean Drake.
But
look
the
at
trade
that.
there is
There's
going to
the
be
trade.
Adu onto the Baron. Very, very easy Baron. I don't think UCC will have any time here.
Wrap it up.
And even if they do try and engage here,
A curtain call might re-engage the fight. UCC might have to back away. Here comes Danzai with the emblem plus the Spire Flame Spitter, really torching the members. Raphael gets caught by the Death Mark. It's going to be a cleanup for Adamson University. That's going to be down for Donatello. Lulu won't be doing much, but Splinter trying to salvage the fight with his first won't be doing much. Cadenza with the engagement of Abyssal Voyage. That's going to be ace and game set for Adamson University's victory.
wow, that was so clean. And that was a huge mistake for UCC to go straight to the Baron Pit after taking that Ocean Drake. That allows for Adu to go for a very, very clean pincer play there.
The thing about what happened there, I think UCC thought that in a normal scenario where teams are not really, practiced a lot, normally when you get the Baron, they back away, right?
Yeah.
But Adamson did not do that. They knew their power in team fights because of the Jin, re-engaging the fight, cleaning it up, plus the position of, GC with the Death Mark was on point.
Yeah, it was definitely not worth it for UCC to go to Baron Pit right after taking Dragon. Going for the Dragon, it seems like UCC will need a little more training time with the Ninja Turtles there, because there were a lot of decisions that led to that defeat there. They weren't packed as a team against this very mobile assassination composition. As a poke comp, that's very vulnerable to that. You should be able to just keep sticking together as a team. Trust in Michelangelo, the party dude, to just bodyguard for Leonardo, bodyguard for Splinter.
And not to mention the itemization of the virus was really bad.
Yeah.
Leonardo, a tier of the goddess, is not something that's wise of itemization. Clearly,
he was way ahead of himself there.
way ahead of himself, but way behind
Yeah.
in gold. Ahead of himself, but behind in gold is something you don't want in itemization. Tier of the goddess is really something you don't want to pick up, knowing that that's a Jin with an Infinity Edge plus the rapid fire.
Yeah, the
cannon.
720 gold spent on that Tier of the Goddess really set him behind in terms of damage. And he was not able to match it. We didn't see any of that. Ooh, that piercing arrow dealt like 50% of his health. We didn't see any of that. Combined with the changes to the items. Yeah, so looking at the damage here, it was Splinter that look at the damage coming from Dazai here on that Rumble. 33,000 damage coming from that equalizer, that's Flame Spitter. Just very, very impactful and lots of control, way beyond in the head the rest of his teammates.
That's like 33,000 damage. That's
Yeah.
is a lot.
That's a lot, and that's the power in the way that the changes to these AD items and these usually auto attack masteries are changing the way that top laners play, that delineates between damage dealing top laners and tank top laners, bruiser top laners. It's very, very interesting to see that these teams teams will be adapting. And I want to see that for the rest of the day here from 2 p.m. to around 8. That was game 1. It was already pretty intense.
I'm pretty intense because, you know, with this patch 7.4 live, guys, it's going to be difficult for teams to actually practice on it. It was a very recent patch. Not enough time to practice, not even a week of practice for them to really adapt. So maybe they still thought they can stick to the same itemization, same strategy. No,
Definitely
not anymore.
not.
Right
anymore.
now, the patch 7.4 draws a line between tanks and offensive bruisers and assassinators.
Also, the itemization as well for AD carry has shifted dramatically. But that's just game 1 of week 3 of the LoL Collegiate League 2017 spring term, powered by Lenovo. That first game was, of course, Adamson University, Penguin Authority versus University of Caloocan City Ninja Turtles. And our next game will, of course, be Adamson University. Game 2, Adamson University still versus Technological University of the Philippines. Sic Parvis Magna. That's Latin for great things come from small things, I believe. Yeah.
So with that said, guys, don't go away. We'll have a short break. Once again, we were your shoutcasters for Game 1 of the Lenovo LCL 2017 Spring Term. Challenge what you know. I'm Vulcan, and joining me was Atlas. We'll be back with a short break. Away that Tom Cash might be a wrong choice, chain of corruption. Failed to land. Here comes the damage from Michelangelo in the middle of the fray, but he's dangerous low. Splinter goes all in for the burst. Fails. Takes a turret hit. Here comes the hunt. This might be a cleanup, guys. Orb secures the kill. Michelangelo flashed away. Will it be a second kill? Flash both by Simon will be securing his third kill. Sadenza with an abyssal forward positioning. Leonardo is a bit dangerously low. This might be a cleanup fight. Still pursues the equalizer and a corner call to clean up the fight. UCC is in a big hip of trouble. Michelangelo a bit equalizer onto the floor, severing the members of UCC, scrolling all over the map. Here comes the re-engage by Simon, gets a kill. Here comes the orb with the thrill of the hunt. Michelangelo is trying to zone up the enemies. He's trying his best. He has no ultimate. Keeper's Verdict is on cooldown. Sadenza with the Devour, saving Dazai from any L will be taken down with the Death Mark. JC gets an easy kill, pick up. Michelangelo still half HP, but the focus is on the Splinter. Simon with the crit and the damage. Focuses onto Leonardo. He has to back away with 4 members of UCC down. This gives Adamson University complete control. Here comes Dante with the Flame Splitter on the fray. Oh, that's going to be all in for Jesse with that mark. Fails to assassinate Raphael, but the curling call might salvage the fight. Third bullet. Oh, that's going to be a block, but still Simon secures the kill. He's legendary with 8. Oh, Zai really low on the health. Burns his flash over the wall. Here comes Simon, gonna do it up with the long range ownage with Michelangelo trying to zone out the members. That's not gonna do much. Splinter gets a double kill, but with Simon with the emblem plus the spire, Flame Splinter really torching the members. Raphael gets caught by the death mark. It's going to be a cleanup for Adamson University. That's going to be down for Donatello. Lulu won't be doing much, but Splinter trying to salvage the fight with his first won't be doing much. Cadenza with the victory.
Wow, that was so clean. And that was a huge mistake for UCC to go straight to Barracks after that ocean break. That allows for Abby to go for very, very clean pincer play there.
Think about what happened there. I think UCC thought that in a normal scenario where teams are not really practicing a lot, don't really speak about the tactics